Now, I have to tell you all about this lizard because I picked them up there as a clone and everything. You can't handle them in real life because you'll get like something like foot and mouth disease from touching them. They're called the vril, V-R-I-L or V-R-I-L-L. And they're from far, far underground. And people kept them secret because they've been indoctrinated into a few religions over the past few centuries, or not past few, they were back in ancient Egypt and everything. They have all kinds of...
The biggest reason I can't name everybody involved is because it's everybody. I've already laid out how the cult of Baal is structured and why. So if you want to know who's involved, Google celebrities and politicians. The other reason is that there's one pop star who's been getting praised lately because he's talked about it using imagery in his videos. That same person has also posted a photo of his own child with a pizza emoji over their face. This is a cycle. Every single perpetrator was once a victim. Most of them don't have a choice. I have memories of being at these orgies with my father screaming at my uncles to finish with me when they didn't want to. It's under the threat of their careers and their lives.
Did I hurt a child? No, I didn't hurt a child. No, I didn't do that. I spent a lot of time avoiding the really big evil stuff, right? The big evil stuff is easy. It's easy to avoid, right? We know that hurting children is hard. We know that killing people is... Did I screw someone over? Yeah, I did. I screwed over America. I screwed over everybody, to be honest. And it happened in the blink of an eye. I didn't kill anyone, no.
They're from far, far underground. And people kept them secret because they've been indoctrinated into a few religions over the past few centuries. Or not past few, they were back in ancient Egypt and everything. They have all kinds of names, mimics, doppelgangers, Anunnakis, chupacabras, all kinds. They're these reptilians that people are talking about, and these shapeshift that people are talking about. But the shapeshift is not what David Icke tells you, and the reptilians are not multidimensional. It is this dimension. It all happens in this one dimension, and it's not mystical or magical at all. It's a biological property of their body. They can body snatch people, and the Illuminati use them to replace people that are a problem. You see, these lizards are smarter than a chimpanzee, and they're saying that this is probably the thing that's going to cause the greatest stir in human history, finding out about the parasite lizards. People have kept them secret because in the past they used to think they were magic. They didn't know what parasites were. So they would get this thing, I'll tell you all about them, how they parasite a human and everything. They have a thing on the top of their head they call a quill. It's a proboscis. It's their spinal cord with these things can eject this thing once in their life, and it goes into your eye, and the person's eye, the victim's eye, spirals around the optic nerve all the way into the brain till it gets to a certain point, and then it excretes stuff. And the cells that it excretes are parasitic, and it takes over the brain totally. There's no coming back for the human. It becomes what they call a host or a drone The drone is a totally obedient slave, is happy to be a human now. The old lizard's body, which is like a foot to 2 feet tall, the type 1 type, is dead now. His spinal cord's out of it, no putting it back in. And it takes people over. Sometimes it causes a swelling of the eye. But they keep it pretty secret. It's what the Egyptian symbol is, with the Eye of Horus, with the squiggly sticking out of the eye. That's what it is. They stick the squiggly thing into your eye and take you over. It's I didn't believe it until I saw it. I had to see it myself there. But and I didn't believe it. I thought it was some kind of a splice thing, because I've seen splice things too. They tried to make weapons for war out of making splice things, and the best thing they made was a spider crossed with a horse. I'll tell you about that some other time. It's not really important. It's big, but it's the best thing that they made. They made like rat scorpions, all kinds of stuff. Anything they could make, just to see if they could get medical science breakthrough or something that could tear through soldiers or something. So I've seen lots of them, and they try to pass them off as aliens to me too, and I was like, yeah, probably just another splice thing you guys have here. Like, you don't understand. They victimized me bad there. They figured that nobody would ever know about the place, so they all feel really secure in doing whatever they want there. And they can remotely kill people from there if they have a clone of you there. They can put a constant electric charge to your clone, and it will cause you to die in real life by an aneurysm, or stroke with an aneurysm. If they mess you up sporadically, it messes up your heart, and which is what happened to me. My heart's not feeling good these days. And I'm only 37. I'm supposed to be pretty healthy.
According to Illuminati whistleblower Donald Marshall, people, including innocent children, are being taken advantage of, tortured and killed at secretive cloning centers. These cloning centers are located in deep underground military bases. For example, Area 51, which is located in Lincoln County, Nevada, Dulce Base, which is located in Dulce, New Mexico, and Montauk Base, which is located in Montauk, New York. Most of these bases have a cloning floor, and that cloning floor is a cloning center. Some cloning centers are above ground, though. There's an above-ground cloning center somewhere in Western Canada, which the late Queen Elizabeth owned. She knew where the cloning center in Canada was, and so did the former Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper. Allegedly, Queen Elizabeth, Vladimir Putin, and high-up Chinese people pretty much run the cloning centers. In addition, Kevin Sullivan, ex-pro wrestler, is a rich, satanic cloner with a lot of pull with the Illuminati. Donald is calling out to everyone involved and concerned to help free those that are trapped at the cloning centers.
It's really... they have it, like, really regulated. It's just really clockwork. They give kids their Stockholm Syndrome, and then the kids are way more compliant. And they scare them with the lizards and everything, and it's...
How did you get chosen, Donald?
What's that?
How did you get chosen?
Well, when I got brought there when I was 5, I was originally brought there for what they call a diddle kid, and that was a child molestation victim. So, anyway, they brought me there, and these men coming at me, and so I was just I just cried, right? Cried and cried, and they said, well, what are you gonna do? Can you sing and dance or anything? What are you good for? So I sang a song, and then a famous person ended up using it. And then after that, to this specific cloning station, more people started coming, because a few nights after that, they brought me back and told me to make another song, and I did. And I can't remember which one the second one was, but it was near effortless. And they were all in awe, sitting in the stands, and I was like, okay, so maybe I'll get out of here again. And I couldn't understand how I'd gotten back here and back home again from the last time, but in real life, I couldn't remember anything. When it happens, you just wake up and you think that you can't remember your dreams. It does give you side effects in real life, but you just think, you're just feeling ill that day or something. Like, they mess people up on worldwide scale because they feel really confident no one's ever going to catch them. And no one's the wiser. They just don't get caught because no one's going to talk about it because they fear getting cloned and tortured, and they fear the lizards. And also, after you die, which is the third part that I wanted to talk to you about, it's another big problem. See, when it's the third aspect. There's the cloning, there's the lizard parasite problem, which makes the drones, which are crazy. And then there's the dead consciousnesses recorded on microchip. Now, a bunch of billionaires years ago got together and they said, we're going to die someday. We can't buy ourselves out of it. We can start wars in different countries. We can kill people from different countries and whatever we want. Cloning technology and figure out how to live forever because I don't want to die. So they did that. And they figured it out. Only problem is the technology is flawed. It's kind of like, it's not as bad as, but it's kind of like the movie Pet Sematary, when the person comes back not the same and they're all evil and stuff. Well, what they do is they put the person's, everything that the person is, allegedly, on a microchip and record the consciousness, and then if the person dies that day, they take that microchip, because they can re-record every night, and they take that microchip and put it into either a clone or a real person's body, which has less side effects, which is what they do, and take them over bodily, just like how the lizards do, but with a microchip. And these dead people, they don't want to get shut down, because you see lizard drones, parasited hosts, they'd have to be killed to be wiped out. Like, you'd have to kill them bodily, like a head chop off or anything. But with the dead consciousness chip heads people, you just have to press a button on them and they get deactivated. They drop limp. And they don't want to be shut down. They're scared of the hereafter and all, because they've been real bad in real life and stuff. And anyway, this is like the biggest anybody's ever talked about.
The Illuminati, or New World Order, NWO, have technology that allows them to be able to transfer one's consciousness, or soul, to a Mark II REM-driven duplication clone body at the cloning centers in this dimension during REM phase of sleep. They can also transfer one's consciousness to a Mark III duplication clone body at the cloning centers in this dimension while one is in a meditative state, no REM required. The clones at the cloning centers have a microchip called Mind Voice, also known as artificial telepathy or MK audio effects, implanted in their head, so they can use MK Ultra, visual and audio effects on you and to control you. With the use of this chip, they can make anyone see or hear anything. You can even feel and see yourself floating, flying, shooting fireballs, etc. But it's all an illusion known as MK Ultra visualizations that only you can see. The people in control know what you're seeing though, and other people that they're using MK Ultra on may be able to see as well. They put people in an MK Ultra scenario, which is basically a controlled experience at the cloning centers using MK Ultra, visual and audio effects, and drugs. For example, someone flying around fighting monsters, they're in a MK Ultra scenario. They do these MK Ultra scenarios for their entertainment, to test their victims. That is, to see what one does or how they react in certain situations, and to influence the person, real body, in real life. That is, to make them feel a certain way about someone or something, like increasing the likelihood of a girl wanting to go out with someone. Let's say that there's this old man that wants to sleep with this pretty girl at the cloning centers. They can put an MK Ultra visual effect of some celebrity face that she would most likely be attracted to over this ugly old man's face, so that she'd be willing to have sex, because she sees the attractive celebrity face as opposed to this ugly old man's face, with him. They use drugs in addition to MK Ultra to help with that manipulation. One may be pre-drugged prior to clone activation, transfer of one's consciousness to a clone, and/or drugged during the experience. When one sells their soul, it means that they agreed for the Illuminati to use a clone of them at the cloning centers for sex, or anything else, while they're asleep in exchange for fame and fortune. In addition, some have sold out and joined the Illuminati to receive benefits at the cloning centers, that is, being able to have sex with celebrities as clones, or benefits in real life, for example, money and fame.
Because they're all basically losers. I have to tell you, the Illuminati, the elite, I hate calling them the elite because they're such losers. These bloodlines and stuff, they're all inbred. Like, they followed a Luciferian teaching about inbreeding makes you strong, and incest makes you young, and eating children has a beautifying effect, age preserving effect. I can tell you all about it. They showed me a lot of stuff. And let me tell you, other people in the past have said the Queen eats people and stuff. Well, she does. And she says that it's a beauty preservation technique. Now, you know when cows eat other cows, they get mad cow disease? Well, humans get that too, if they eat humans. And people didn't know that until about the time of the mad cow disease discovery. And so they found out kind of too late. So they're 3/4 retarded now from like eating people and stuff. At the Picton murders and stuff, with all those hookers that died there, they had people over there for a barbecue eating some of the women there just to see what human tastes like, because clones, I guess, taste different or something. So I don't know. They're pretty sick. He's only allowed to say what they're allowed, or what they say he's allowed to say. It's comical. They pay for his show. They pay for his TV show. Anyway, he was going on about gold foiled babies, these roasted foiled babies, right? Well, the thing is, I seen them there, and they do eat them. They're smoked. It's a Luciferian thing.
Vril Type 1 lizards, terrestrial aliens, are parasitic, carnivorous, and malevolent. They're about 1 to 2 feet tall. Their head resembles the body of a king crab, and their body is covered in red, diamond-shaped scales. They dwell underground. They're dumb and are able to talk, but smarter when they turn a human into a host, drone. They have a proboscis, called the quill, which is located on the top of their head. The proboscis, which looks like a chocolate chip, contains everything that the lizard is, its consciousness. Their lizard body is dead once the proboscis leaves its body. They can only do this once in their lifetime, and if they fail, turning a human into a host, they die. The human that is about to be body snatched is either unconscious or restrained. The proboscis enters the human's eye and spirals around the optic nerve. It then proceeds to go to an area of the brain, driven by taste, that tastes like butterscotch to them. Then, they get a feeling of holding your breath and pushing outwards. Finally, it does what's called sweating the quill at the tip of the proboscis, which excretes the parasitic cells that take over the human body. This kills the human and replaces their consciousness with the vril lizard's consciousness. The vril lizard becomes that human. After about a month's recovery time, the vril proboscis connects with the human eye and releases a foamy substance where the parasite injects itself into the human brain. The unfortunate human suffers temporary agony. Once the parasite is effectively in the brain, the human ceases to exist and the vril is in full control of its host body. The age-old Eye of Horus symbol represents the age-old body-snatching nature of the vril aliens. Take note that drones do not have lizard eyes. There are no major or obvious physical changes to the human body. The only change is that the human consciousness has ceased to exist, and the vril consciousness is now in control of the body. Another thing is that drones are not shapeshifters. Once the lizard takes over the human, there is no transferring in and out of the body, as it is a permanent one-time transfer until the lizard consciousness perishes. Shapeshifting is thought to be a metaphoric description of droning, as it was difficult for people or their cultures to communicate the existence of vril, much less the droning procedure in a way that would not bring them harm for attempting to expose the ancient secret or to preserve any information whatsoever. Excessive or increased blinking or lip-licking may possibly be lizard traits that transfer with the consciousness. Drone offspring have an increased chance of various syndromes or birth abnormalities. Drones are not nice people. They are a lizard consciousness who killed a human being via a parasite to assist the vril agenda. Most drones are ruthless, psychopathic, sexually driven, and sadistic. It is reported that the genitalia has an effect on male genitalia, leading to the appearance of an underdeveloped male sex organ. Hair loss is reported to be a common trait among male and female drones. More skin anomalies appear, such as moles, skin tags, age spots, etc. Droning occurs when a vril injects its quill or proboscis into the human eye, where the lizard parasite takes over the human host brain. It is terribly painful for the human being until the human consciousness dies and the vril parasite consciousness is in full control. All or most memory and ability of the former human is retained, and the lizard consciousness now mimics the former human's behaviors. The former human is now a drone. These are the people that are used by vril to infiltrate governments, religious, legal, and financial systems, organizations, and/or corporations. It is not uncommon for male or female drones to lose their hair at a younger age. Intelligence seems a little decreased, with a minimal capacity, if any, to understand sarcasm or dry humor. Offspring have increased risk of various birth abnormalities. Drones often seem incapable of empathy or sympathy and can quite often display psychotic behaviors. Drones enjoy perversion, sexual deviance, and self-gratification. The drone will seem to be a sick human until fully recovered from the parasitical infection, which takes varying degrees of time, but is usually minimal. The eye that was droned with the proboscis will be affected and sometimes never fully recover, leaving the affected eye to seem different from the other. Most drones appear completely normal and walk among us undetected. Once again, this transition from vril lizard to human is what's called droning. Once a vril lizard becomes a human, they are then known as a drone, host of vril, or a parasited host. A person that has had this happen to them may be referred to as someone that had been possessed by a demon. This is what demonic possession is. In addition, some hosts of vril, drones, call themselves walk-ins, in which they describe how an alien consciousness or soul took over their body. According to Donald Marshall, the slit-eye videos that you see all over the web are fake. The Illuminati put these out intentionally to mislead everyone into thinking that one can tell who is a reptilian, vril lizard, and a host of vril aka drone by checking to see if their eyes turn to slits. This doesn't occur, and they cannot do this. However, the eyes are one way to tell. Sometimes there may be an eye that pops outward or inward due to the droning process, or it makes the eye stray, so it looks like the person is cockeyed or wall-eyed. There is no shape-shifting either. The so-called shape-shifting is the transition from vril lizard to human. Those that talk about reptilian shapeshifters are referring to vril and people who have been droned. Humans, animals, insects, and reptiles can all become infected with a parasite. This is not a new concept and is widely known. Parasites take over the thought process of the host, body, that it invades. An infected ant will be driven to climb up on a blade of grass to purposely become eaten by grazing animals so that it can enter the stomach of sheep, cow, etc., and complete its life cycle. Sometimes the parasite can be transferred to a human that eats the newly infected animal, such as a pig. Sometimes humans can contract a parasite from an infected cat as well, Toxoplasma gondii. No matter how it gets contracted, once it enters the body, it can in fact invade the brain. Parasites mimic their host, yet the thought processes and further behaviors of infected persons alter significantly. In the case of Toxoplasma gondii found in the stomachs of cats, the cats excrete the eggs, and the eggs are eaten by smaller animals such as rats. The rats ingest the parasite and are taken over to the point of losing their fear of cats and exposing themselves directly to a cat so that it can be ingested by and further infect that cat. A parasite's instinctual nature is to take over as much and as often as possible. There are various ways the parasites transfer from animals, bugs, and reptiles to humans, and once inside the human host, the natural process is to take over the human thought process and control it. This is scientifically proven. Since humans are superior and there is nothing left to take over, the parasite is content to live in the human and the human becomes diseased. The parasite must feed, and if it has infected the brain, then it begins to feed off the brain itself, where the host begins to lose feelings like empathy and sympathy, and as a result, they become sinister and self-driven. They eventually care for nothing but themselves and their self-preservation. They will hurt or destroy almost anyone or anything to get what they want and need. They become the most ruthless people on the planet. See where this is going? Our world leaders fit this psychopath description to a T. Do you think all of our corrupt leaders, corporations, scientists, teachers, doctors, military, clergy, lawyers or judges, child welfare workers, police, etc., got infected by a cat scratch, or could there be a different way they became infected? Since parasites are very common in lizards, I wonder if you could believe for even a fraction of a second that there may be truth to the fact that the Illuminati's best-kept secret is vril lizards. Could vril lizards possibly transfer a parasite and take over the elite characters on our planet and drive them to be the evil that we just cannot understand in today's world? I think so. If you're not so sure, please keep on listening. When an uninfected rat senses a predator cat nearby, it becomes very frightened and aims to avoid the cat at all costs, as us normal humans do when we sense an evil, bad, or corrupt person. Yet when an infected rat senses the predator cat, it will present itself to the cat. This makes so much sense as far as I'm concerned. We, the uninfected rats, naturally sense this same fear when we are exposed to the predator cat, and we run away from it. Yet the infected rats, psychopaths among us, do not fear the predator qualities of the cat, and instead desire and seek to become the same powerful predator. These people do not fear the bigger cats who could potentially eat them and desire to be as powerful, thereby giving up everything they are to become such. They don't care about their former self. They now thrive for power. Parasites and psychopaths often crave evolving power. Drones, parasited hosts of vril, mimic human behavior. They are willing slaves with no compassion and only care about droning other people, torture, and sex. They're murderers. They killed the human to use their body and live life as a normal human.
Dear friends, many of us can see and feel that world events seem to be getting worse and worse every day. More hidden things are coming to light, and it can be extremely unsettling. The Bible clearly tells us that darkness will be exposed in the last days, but God is still in control. In this video, Donald Marshall shared stories and information about so-called vril alien creatures and how he believes deception operates in Hollywood, secret satanic groups, and even among ordinary people we encounter in our daily lives. It could be your coworker, your neighbor, your friend, or even a family member. This is truly disturbing. Before we end this video, let us know where you're tuning in from, and we'll give you a shout out in our next uploads. We pray that each and every one of you are staying strong in your faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. Do not lose hope and do not give up. Our redemption draws near. Amen and amen.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and I'll see you in our next video.